Dude, by the way, I'm enjoying every new nugget I find out about high school Kevin, including if we can talk about the goddamn amazing Waka cosplay.
Yep. Yeah.
That you dropped on Twitter in the last week or so.
I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot.
I'll never forget that now. I've seen it. I've seen your belly button. I'll never forget.
Yep. That's probably like the least hairy my belly has ever been. I didn't like shave it or anything for Waka.
Dude, my belly's been hairy my whole life.
Dude, I was like, I definitely had to shave for that picture because I had like a chin strap for most of high school. So
awesome.
I probably had to shave the old Honest Abe for Waka. But yeah, so if I remember, I think I was 15. I was going to Anime Boston, my first con.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going with a group of friends who cosplayed Yuna and Riku. And
awesome.
It was an amazing time. I think Naruto was just coming out, and there were like Naruto costumes everywhere. And I got glomped.
Sorry, wait, glump. My con knowledge has waned. It's been a while. Glomped is
in the early 2000s. Getting glomped was like a thing. It was like getting a flying hug from someone, usually a stranger.
Right? Yes, we've changed how we feel about randomly hugging people, but that was a big con thing.
Yeah. If you were very online in the early 2000s, like if you typed something in the forum and your friends were there, they'd like glomp you. Haha. It's like it was a cute online thing to do before we developed personal space.
Before we developed personal space, and before weird dudes realized that they could use free hug signs as a way to be creepy to girls.
Yeah, free hugs was a thing.
It started innocent.
I think early 2011, I saw my first free shrugs sign, which was a sign.
I would actually like that. Yeah, that's good.
It was just someone with the signs of free shrugs, and they'd like shrug in a picture with you, and it was great. The anime convention was in a mall, and we had to go into the mall to get food. So the food court was just packed with cosplayers. And a British woman, I'll never forget this for my entire life. I was dressed up as Waka from Final Fantasy X, and I was eating Panda Express, and
oh my god!
And an old British woman came up to me, and she sort of like crouched down to like whisper something to me because she didn't want to be too weird about it. But she said, "What's with all the fancy dress?" And
she could trust you to tell her.
I guess I was the most approachable, trustworthy person there. Also, people just tell me things. That's my superpower, is people just want to tell me things.
Yeah, also, by the way, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it, go to our Twitter at GoosebudsPod. We retweeted it. It'll be down. If you see how Kevin, you have a strong but subtle confidence in that picture, I would approach you and ask you for guidance.
I think that was where I started saying yes to life as a teenager. Like as a middle schooler, I said no to life quite a bit.
So what did you say to the lady?
I was like, "Oh, well, it's like a festival, I guess. It's okay, so we all like cartoons, but they're from Japan.
From the far-off land of Japan.
Except I'm not dressed up as a cartoon. I'm dressed up from a video game. Okay, a video game. I didn't. She was so sweet and so nice, and she kept like smiling and like nodding nervously, like she was trying to get it. She was just like, well, you all look amazing.
Oh, that's really sweet. That's really nice.
She went and got a pretzel or something. But yeah, she was super sweet. I'll never forget her. But I remember thinking in that con, like, I don't have to explain myself to anyone. Like, people are literally waving at me and saying, "Hey, Waka," and I'm like, "What?" Like that was the rush of cosplaying back in the day.
Yeah, dude. I've never actually.
You've never cosplayed?
No, I'll be honest. I'm jealous of everyone who does. Partly because whenever I'm at cons, like I think 90% of them have always been for work, right? I'd be like at Maker Studios, and I'm having to go do something for some evil YouTuber. But also the times I did go, I'll share my deepest secret.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of knew that like any cosplay would result in me just being a sweaty boy. Like even Waka, for example, Kevin. I think you're rocking it.
Very breezy.
Very breezy.
Yeah.
I think about a Waka. I think even a Waka, I'm just going to end up just being like by an hour into it, I'm walking through the con and I'm just damp everywhere. And people are avoiding me, and someone goes like, "Ew, why is he so wet?" And then that's my nightmare. That's my nightmare, Kevin.
All right, we can plan around this. I feel like there are two ways to go from here.
Sure,
we could go even more scantily clad than Waka. Or we could do like the Adam Savage thing and put you in a Totoro costume and see how that goes.
Okay, sure. I could do a Totoro if I was able to do a full AC cooling rig on the inside.
Yeah.
Like, not just fans. Like, I want it pumping cold ice water through.
Yeah.
I want, like, a little mister going. Like, I want to be cooler in that Totoro than the normal temperature of the room. That's the only way I could do it.
You know those, like, liquid cooling things you get for, like, high-end computers or whatever?
Yeah.
We could strap you up with those, and you'll have just a nice breezy chill.
I need that. I need a bunch of camelbacks. You know, camelbacks, those things runners have.
Yep.
They're like water packs that you strap to your back so that while you're running, you can just take a sip from a straw.
Yeah.
Like I want a bunch of those hooked up on Totoro's butt, and then I have like a pit crew that every 15 to 20 minutes I can swing by, and they are pouring in new cold ice water. Mm-hmm. For me to get to lower the temperature even further. This is a big operation, though, Kevin. That's what's going to take for me to cosplay.
Oh, I'm totally down for it because we're going to be group cosplaying. Like, I don't know if there's another Totoro character I could do, but I would love to go as Billy Bob Thornton's character from Princess Mononoke, Jigo the Monk.
I was trying to think about Billy as like Billy Bob, like what from Monster, like wait for Monsters Ball. Like, who are you talking about? Oh yeah,
he plays Jigo the monk. He's got like the little Gaeta sandals, wooden sandals.
Dude, those Western dubs I've been watching recently again, and it's just so crazy. Like, oh yeah, this one's Patrick Stewart, this one's Dakota Fanning. It's just wild to me, dude.
Mononoke's got like Gillian Anderson and Billy Crudup.
Oh man, I gotta watch that one.
Oh yeah, the Mononoke dub is awesome.
I think the last one I watched again was Nausicaa, which is like a big inspiration on the show I'm working on, Wandla. There's a lot of like Nausicaa parallels in a cool way, and like just watching it going like Uma Thurman is just this like the random tank military general queen. Like that's a big get, y'all. Like that kind of thing, but it doesn't feel like say the direct to DVD like cash grabs now, where it's like Alpha and Omega 5. We got Billy Baldwin to voice one of them.
Yeah, it feels like almost like out of the Wes Anderson school of casting, like. Everyone participating just feels so like excited to be there.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because those Ghibli films are so fucking sweet.
They're very, very cool. Speaking of animated films, I'm glad we're here to talk about the film of the summer, Space Jam 2.
Oh, yes. I need to know.
Have you not watched it yet, Kevin?
No, I haven't seen it. I've seen so many takes on it, though.
I doubt I could bring a hot new spicy take on Space Jam 2, but it does feel somehow podcast adjacent for us.
I need to know about it. I need to know. Like, give me...
Oh, by the way, Paul's not dead.
Everyone. Oh, yeah.
Paul's traveling. Paul will be back.
Welcome to Goosebuds. My name's Kevin Cole, and I'm here with my friend Chad Kwan, and usually we have our friend Paul Ritchie, but he's on vacation, and we're going to talk about a horror movie eventually, but right now we're being friends and talking. Now you're caught up.
Yeah, there you go. Dude, we're good. 107 episodes in, we're getting better and better at the show.
We get it. We understand how to podcast. We don't just sort of have a friend chat and then remember that we're recording.
Yeah, no, that's totally not what we do. Kevin, I just Space Jam 2 is wild, and it's something I have been thinking about now for weeks since I've seen it. I am so glad it was free on streaming because I would have not paid money to see it in theaters. But dude, it is just this wild IP smorgasbord of, I know I said that more like Swedish Chef than saying the word smorgasbord. Yeah, it is a movie that does not make LeBron James look good. It is not a movie that makes Warner Brothers look good. Like LeBron, I know it's his arc in the movie, I guess, is he needs to realize he needs to let his son be a gamer instead of a basketball player. But he's also just like a rich dude the whole time, so you kind of lose a little bit of sympathy when he's like, they're in this giant mansion, and that's so not... like, Michael Jordan was rich in the first one, and yes, there are commercial bits in the first one, y'all, but it is drastically different. I will fight everyone on this. It is not the same thing. I've seen a lot of takes on Twitter like, they're both commercials, just get used to it. No, guys. Michael Jordan did not fall and make a crater and leave behind a Nike symbol. That is different. That is different than what happened in Space Jam 1.
Are there also teases to other WB properties in there as well?
It's not a tease. What's the opposite of a tease? What's a full-blown orgasmic release of IPs?
Oh.
It is the main villain, Kevin, Al G. Rhythm, played by Don Cheadle, who is just burning up all of his goodwill.
Oh no.
Is a computer program that is made that seemingly the Warner Brothers executives don't know where he came from. There's like a whole other like Lawnmower Man type movie where everyone's like, yeah, he makes his presentation, but he controls the Warner Brothers serververse, which is just a fancy way of saying this is the server with all of our movies saved on it. But it is depicting a like Super Mario Galaxy-esque world where just every IP's got its own planet. It's kind of Mormonism. Everyone gets their own planet.
Oh, good.
And yeah, LeBron's flying past whatever, the Matrix world, but then it's just inside is two pills swirling around each other. Like, I don't think people live there. Game of Thrones world, Wizard of Oz. It is wild, and how it is just, these are the things. These are our franchises. We are very intimidated by Disney. Like it feels somehow like a response to them.
But they don't put Jon Snow on the basketball team, do they?
No, but see, that would be fucking dope.
That would be dope.
As dumb as that it would be, it is really weird in how they're like, we love all these IPs. And by the way, I love that LeBron James, he immediately understands IP. He understands which ones are, like, when he lands there and he's got to assemble his team with bugs, he immediately knows which IP is Warner Brothers. He's like, oh, we gotta get Gandalf, we gotta get King Kong, get Superman. And I wanted so badly for one. I know like a lot of internet people are, we're all kind of just absorbed this now, kind of just know. But I wanted there to be a thing of him like, and we get Mickey Mouse, and then Bugs be like, we can't say his name, don't do that. No,
Like, imagine being a young person.
Yeah.
With no context for who the Looney Tunes are. Because what have they done, like, in the past decade? Like,
no, that's a very good point.
Like,
there's been a bunch of new shorts that Warner Brothers has, like, not put out. Like, when I was working on Unikitty, there was a bunch of new shorts I heard rave reviews for, like, these are amazing, they're fantastic, this is going to rebirth Looney Tunes, and then Warner Brothers just sat on them. I don't even know if they've ever come out. But your point is, yeah, they haven't made anything in a while.
Yeah, there was like a modern, like, Bugs and Daffy live together kind of show.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. They made it like it's like Judd Apatow Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
but Taz was their dog, and I won't stand by that. Taz is not a dog.
What the fuck? Taz has a family.
Yes. Where's Tasmania Erasure, Kevin? Thank you.
Oh,
Kevin, I want you to watch it because you need to at least see it. The minute there's about 60 seconds where in the course of 60 seconds, it goes from LeBron James going like, we got to assemble our team. We got to go to different Warner Brothers properties to find the Looney Tunes. He spins the whiteboard, and then Austin Powers jumps out and goes, yeah, baby.
No.
And then but he's, yeah, no, I'm not kidding, but it's just a shot. They didn't shoot anything new. Everything in this movie is reused footage.
No, you're fucking with me. That can't be real.
No, I'm not. Cuts to a clip from Austin Powers 2 with Dr. Evil and Seth Green at the chair, and then the door opens when Mini-Me was supposed to walk in, but it's an Elmer Fudd. And Elmer Fudd is dressed like Mini-Me.
No.
And then Sylvester is like, oh, Elmer, you're here. And Sylvester is Mr. Bigglesworth or whatever, the cat. And then it cuts to 2 more IPs. It's like Wicked West, Wicked Witch of the West, and another one. And then before the minute's over, they're back to a spaceship, and then Rick and Morty show up, and they drop Taz.
No, this isn't real. You're lying to me.
This is real. Rick and Morty drop Taz off, and they say something about oh, your Badger condition was irreversible. See ya, dum-dums, and then they leave. And it is just nonstop. You're going I don't know where the hits are coming next. Who's going to show up? It is just wild.
Is it the death of culture? Right now, yes or no? Is it the death of culture?
I know someone would be being pretentious about kids, but guys, kids deserve better than this. Yeah, it is a thing that I swear, the first year on Goosebuds we talked about before we were joined by your wonderful self, Kevin. That I was obsessed with this idea of franchise apocalypse, where everything would just be these intellectual properties, and it would just always be that. And this is what that movie is proposing: just throw them out there. And Fortnite's got everyone in it. Just throw them all in like a big old gumbo. It's the worst form of a melting pot. It's terrible. Never
have a new idea. Never do anything untested.
I actually like your idea, Kevin, though, of it should have been, if you're going to do it, lean into it. I'm going to recruit the best of the Warner Brothers. Meanwhile, Don Cheadle's Algie should have been I'm going to get the best villains ever, because the Goon Squad in this one are garbage. But it should have been Pennywise and Voldemort and the Eye of Sauron as a tower, all playing basketball against the Looney Tunes. If there was just a shot of Pennywise crossing LeBron James over and breaking his ankles, that would be the funniest fucking thing in the world.
That would be incredible.
It'd be incredible, but instead there's this guy's name is Wetfire, and he's made of water, but sometimes he's fire.
Wait, does Warner Brothers own Goosebuds? Or sorry, does Warner do they own us?
Oh God, I don't know.
Do they own Goosebumps?
Well, that's also good. We should also make sure they don't somehow own Goosebuds. We didn't sign a contract secretly at some point. Well, the movies are Sony,
okay,
right? The feature films were Sony. This was, what we're here today to actually talk about is Netflix.
Right. But I just remembered Jack Black saw a Pennywise balloon in a gutter in Haunted Halloween.
Oh, yeah! What was that? That's right. It was a random...
It was probably just a random funny... That was probably more of a Stephen King reference than a WB movie
Sure,
reference.
Probably just that, but they couldn't resist. What if RL's the guy who won't sell out? He's sold out, but he won't he doesn't want to George Lucas it. He doesn't want to sell the rights to Disney. He's I'm gonna go down. They're gonna bury the rights with me.
I would respect that. I wouldn't.
Yeah, dude.
I wouldn't take back every bad thing I've said about his writing and art.
But I would appreciate the hell out of that.
I would think better of him.
Yeah, or at least that's the smarter way to go, is at least you choose when your stories are being adapted. I actually have not seen, weirdly enough, I didn't feel RL's presence in what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, let's talk about what we're here to talk about today. So we're going to talk about Fear Street 1978.
The second of the chillogy, which is a term I'm just using for it, but I don't know if that's official.
No, I think they're using chillogy for it.
Good. Okay.
It's a chillogy.
Well, it's a marketing term.
Yeah.
For sure. I didn't come up with it. I'm no genius.
Yeah.
But the second in the chillogy, following 1994?
Yeah, 1994,
6.
And this is 78, right?
Yes, 78. Leading into the final one of 1666, which is a spooky number.
Yeah. Chad, a lot of people liked 1994. We were kind of all in agreement as the three of us that we didn't super like it. I thought this one was much better. And I actually enjoyed it quite a bit.
I think I am halfway there in that, like, I liked it more than 94, and I still kind of walked away from it feeling dissatisfied, but even more so, I know when we talked about 94, we talked about how, like, it's hard to view Grady's completely because it feels like there is some level of, they're setting some stuff up for, the entire three, right? And this one's paying that off a little bit more. The framing device is following the 94 kids now. Dina's, I mean, she wasn't terrible in this because she didn't have to do anything other than ask questions. But like, it's harder to judge it on its own individual movie. I was trying to look at this if I was like, if I just watched 78, no framing device. If it was just a Friday the 13th movie, which I know the director, Leah, I don't know how to say her last name, Leah Janiak, has compared this to Friday the 13th, while the first one was Scream. And I saw that she even called the third one, like, not even, I thought it was going to be The Vitch, but it's actually like some other, I wrote it down and forgot. She compared it to 2005's The New World, a movie that I have not seen. But yeah, like, that was a long rambling way to say I enjoyed the connections of maybe what it's doing to the greater lore.
Right.
I found the violence really... it's not that I'm squeamish, I don't think. I know I went really hard on, like, Kate dying in the last one with the bread cutter.
Mm-hmm.
And that hit me for different reasons, I think, than just being brutal and visceral.
I would pick a different word for a lot of the violence that turns me off in this series, and I think it's cruel.
That's what it is. It's cruel.
The cruelty in the Fear Street series is sort of portrayed as realistic, almost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, it's realistic that the slasher would just, murder a tiny beglasses child.
Oh, that poor kid.
Spoilers, by the way. Yeah. Little nerd kid gets fucking destroyed by a slasher. And what emotion is that meant to elicit? Is it supposed to be like, well, the Sarah Fear must be stopped, like, or is it? I don't know. We'll get to it, but it's just like,
yeah, no. But I think you're hitting what when I wrote down a bunch of notes, I think I kept coming back to. I couldn't tell if this film series is being nihilistically like shit just happens to you and that's the way it goes, or what I think is in a lot of horror and horror adjacent stuff, which has been troped to death, of like the morality lessons in them, right? Like the cliche, the most cliche one ever is the kids who are having sex are going to get killed early on.
Do not,
because they're...
If you find yourself in Shady Side, never grab an ass. It's not going to work out well for you.
Probably that's very true, and that's a horror trope, right? Yeah. Like the couple that has snuck away upstairs to bone, Jason's going to get you, like. And that's kind of a like weird, like, yeah, because teenagers aren't supposed to fuck; they're supposed to get married first, or like whatever the morality of those movies always seem to be. And I don't know what these movies are saying when just like the kids who don't deserve to die, get really brutally murdered.
Yeah, I don't know what this I don't know what these movies are saying either, and maybe we need to like. Watch the third one which would make sense, but I don't know if it's going to put things right so much as like end the killing or something. I don't know what they could possibly do to like undo all of the cruelty that's happened, because obviously revenge isn't going to do that.
Yeah, the revenge of Sarah Fear has felt so wild and random and chaotic, right? Like the rules of at some point either you disturb her grave, like you get flung out of a bus and you disturb her grave and you're on her shit list, or sometimes she just seems to pick a random kid and make him crazy.
Yeah, like,
and it seems very wild.
I think maybe the filmmakers are like, hey, they're going to be asking why a whole lot, so we're going to have an amazing answer for them by the end, because they're going to be so intrigued that they're going to make it to the third episode. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to have an answer that will be satisfying, but I guess I'm entering into this with good faith that they might. But you know, this is me like coming down on this, where I thought this Fear Street was a little punchier, where they weren't spending as much time setting stuff up. They had more like interesting supernatural scenes.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, the fucking heart or whatever, like,
yeah, dude, the heart was so cool.
Loved
that was
it.
sick. There's a heart under the trees of this camp, and it felt very Silent Hill, and that was sick.
Oh my god, it was so great and gross. Like I love Slither. Slither's like one of my favorite horror movies.
Slither's fun.
So I thought I thought that was like a neat little slivery kind of feeling scene. I bet, yeah, it had the slime and everything, so some of it was at least practical. But
it seemed like those kids should have stabbed that heart. By the way, it seemed like if they had just like curb stomped that heart right there, everything would have gone away. That's just my wild guess. Felt like that was the massive weak point, and Chris Redfield would have shot the fuck out of that thing.
Well, it's cool that we're like gathering clues for like the big finale,
right?
Right? Because like Sarah Fear doesn't have a hand, and that hand is buried in this movie.
Yeah, which actually makes some of the stuff in the first one play off better, right? So the scenes of in the first one of they have read an incantation and they are sure that if they rebury Sarah Fear, the curse will stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we even maybe called it out as like so what was the fucking point?
Yeah.
If that doesn't do anything in the first one. I guess this one's kind of answering like, oh, they missed a page that said the hand needed to be part of it to be complete. So it's almost like those two movies are going to come together, where I'm sure in the third one they'll be like we gotta put them together.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. Like,
yeah, well, it's also, it'd be so interesting if you could do these like purely like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, but each of them have to have their own kind of start and end with the individual characters. We should not just unpack what the general plot of this one is. I think it's going to be a lot easier. For whatever reason, I noticed that like compared to 1994, where I had felt like it was almost a TV show scrunched down because it just things kept happening. It's a pretty like clear-cut night. Like just things go bad.
Yeah, exactly. It feels much more coherent, and it does lean on tropes a little more. This does feel
totally.
This does feel a little less fresh, but it does, I don't know, just kind of move a little better, because this whole thing is just an homage, like, to the general vibe of the Fear Street books, right? Like, we're not following like the exact plot of any one Fear Street, right?
No, I could not. And again, we're a little bit greener on knowing all the Fear Street books, but this did not see. It's even though there was a couple in the first movie that felt like, oh, that's the first book of the Cheerleaders one, basically. This felt very much this is Fear Street Friday the 13th.
And by setting this at camp, this kind of does something. It's kind of all Riot Bus. If you remember Riot Bus from the last.
Yeah, I'll never forget Riot Bus. The best part of that movie.
But by setting this at a horribly run institution of the summer camp.
Oh my god.
where the only adult, I guess, is a nurse who genuinely tries to stop all of the killing from happening again. Like,
yeah, because you find out her daughter was one of the killers afflicted by Sarah Fear.
Yeah,
Nurse the Switchblade Lane. Girl, Nurse Lane. Yeah, Ruby Lane was her daughter had killed a bunch of people, and she is investigating and trying to stop this.
Yeah, she's trying to crack the case, but she sees a new name get writ on the witching wall or whatever, and it's one of the counselors at camp, that Cindy...
C. Berman.
It's C. Berman?
C. Berman telling you the story of the night, and they already tell you, like, my sister died, and everyone died at that camp. So now you just kind of know that it's not going to go well.
Yeah. And that's sort of an interesting consequence of telling these stories in like reverse time order, is that you kind of know that things are kind of locked in place. But they do kind of a switcheroo, I guess, or they try to, with, because we have two what's the Berman? We have two Bermans.
Oh, so there are two Bermans. We are introduced to Sadie Sink from Stranger Things.
Yep.
Is playing Ziggy Berman, and her older sister, played by Emily Rudd, playing Cindy Berman, the red herring of this is the C. Berman that Gillian Jacobs is telling Dina and Josh about in the present. And it's jumping back and forth between Ziggy and Cindy's POV, pretty much. I guess it cuts to, like, they're definitely our main protagonists of this.
Yeah, but I never, like, got why it would really fucking matter which one of them ended up being the Gillian Jacobs at the end.
Yeah, it was only like that was the only unknown of it. Maybe this was their attempt of addressing, like, well, we're already going to tell them in the first movie that everyone died that night, so you kind of just know who's making it, including it's like you said, it's just kind of inherently baked into it. The camp counselor, Nick Good, like, I know he's not dying because he's a cop in the first one. Like,
yeah,
he's making it. So when he goes out into the woods, all of the tension of, like, oh, is he gonna get I'm the killer? No, he's not. He's gonna be fine.
He's an interesting character as a teenager because he's sort of like, I don't know. I guess he's supposed to be like this dreamy character, but he becomes a cop later. And he's like, oh, I wish I didn't have to become a cop, but I'm gonna. I really like reading books.
I wrote that down. We had a weird interaction at the beginning of the day where a cop would, like, I think the dialogue from the older cop was, boy, it's a shame your dad died. Well, here's you being my boss soon. And he just left. like you're just the wheel of fate is turning, young Nick Good, and you will be a cop, and you are also already exploiting your power by hitting on a camp counselor.
Yep. There's this weird sort of like sense of fate that kind of has a grip on this 3-movie trilogy, where, like, no one can escape Shadyside or Sunnyvale or whatever. Like, no one can change anything, and, like, everything that's happening now is because of stuff that happened 20 to 400 years ago, and nothing can be done. You're just a pawn in this ancient game. And is the ultimate answer going to be, no, we can forge our own futures? I don't think it's going to on this hopeful message, because it's a fucking slasher horror series. So what? Yeah,
this movie makes it a little bit clear that I guess I hadn't really connected it in the first one, that the Shadysiders are being much more targeted by the curse, whether that's intentional or not.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I read a comment on this one that was like, if they do a very clearly distinct, this night when a murder fest is starting is the night of the color war, a thing that I never did at camp.
Yeah,
probably for multiple reasons.
I didn't go to camp, so
you sounded so sad when you said it.
Well, I mean, I know color war is a thing. It's just it all seems very insensitive, but like the 70s setting really like makes up for that. Like, I'm willing to believe. Yeah. I'm more willing to believe like the 70s would like have all of this like horrible segregation of two classes. Like,
that was what's so weird to me, is the camp split them up. Right?
Yeah.
It's a summer. Both of these movies keep doing this thing where I think they're going to like the interesting character dynamics of the Pawnee and the Eagletons, the people that have to mix and mesh of different class systems. And instead, this camp was poor's on this side, Richie's on this side. We're giving you different shirts, and now you're going to fight each other at the end in a I guess Color War is about kidnapping each other. I could not actually figure out the rules to Color War.
Yeah, it was like flag tag or whatever. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it was like capture the flag, but there was no objective as far as I could tell. It was like just don't get brought into a room where a jailer will guard you.
Right.
One team picked a poor dorky fat kid with glasses.
Yep.
Who deserved better.
You deserved much better.
He wanted to play charades. But then if you from the other team come in and can just like tag them out, they get to come back and start playing again. So I don't even know what the jailer is supposed to do other than say, I'll tag you.
So we sort of continue the theme of there are some shady side people who are genuinely nice. And there are some shady side people who do drugs and have sex. And they die.
They have to... The drug couple was so doomed from the beginning.
So marked for death.
Also, like, it's funny that this one has like better pacing and flow, and it didn't feel like it was 10 episodes of a TV show.
Yeah.
But I also had felt a lot more attached to 1994's cast. Like the group of those kids. Maybe it was just Kate and Simon, but I kept thinking, I was waiting for like the stoner girl, for example, in this one to become a character, and she was really just there for a sex scene and to die.
Yeah, I can't like say I wish these characters were better developed since they're all going to die anyway. So
I know.
I kind of liked the fact. Well, I liked the fact that I wasn't as attached to these characters because it honestly made the plot flow a little smoother. That we weren't doing so much time developing these characters that were obviously doomed. I appreciated that, I guess. But the thing that sort of makes me not want to, like, hang out in this universe is how fucking shitty everyone is to everyone else at all times.
Yeah, dude.
Like, if you're from Shady Side, like, Sunnyvalers hate you. Other Shady Side people hate you.
No, it's a very nihilistic, like, bleak form of being a teenager, and maybe that hits for some folks, but I was more just like, whoever wrote and made these films did not enjoy adolescence, and also, like, loathed it, is how I interpreted that.
Yeah, so, like, what's the ultimate plan here? Because it seems like the plan, in the short term, is save witch girlfriend from the last one. Save Sam. But, like, by shutting down the witch, you end the curse, which saves Shady Side. But is there anything in Shady Side to save?
That's deep.
I don't know if that's compelling enough for me, honestly, because, like, you gotta have something, like, Kate and Simon were something about Shady Side to love, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They were,
the moments of hope and optimism in a town that seemed pretty lame.
Yeah.
And
there are no moments of hope and optimism in 1978 at all.
No, it's really, like, I really was kind of fascinated and thrown by our introduction to Ziggy, is her being... remember this right? They were going to hang her.
They were going to burn Ziggy at the stake.
They burned Ziggy on... Yeah, you see them hold a lighter up to her, and then they start to hang her.
Yep.
And the council's like, hey, what's going on here? Ziggy, you got to stop fucking around. And then they just blame Ziggy, which I guess I know happens that a kid is unfairly thing, but I was like, what did Ziggy do? Like, everyone talks about her as if she's a monster.
It was a really intense way to, like, start off this story, but it's shrugged off so quick by Ziggy and everyone else. Like, it's just like, haha, we're rivals now.
Yeah, there's some cartoonish antagonism with Sheila, I think. Like,
yeah.
Like, eyebrows girl who's just like, I just hate you. I guess she was from Sunnyvale. I'm just assuming, because... she must have been.
Cartoonish is definitely the word. One, it feels like it's going in fast motion. There's only a little bit of time where, like, no one's aware of the killer on the campground, who is not Tommy. What's his name?
No, Tommy. The killer is Tommy.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's Tommy.
Which I remember thinking that was maybe a Friday the 13th reference, because that's one of the characters. Maybe that's probably just coincidence, but...
I don't know, man. The more I like try to think of like good things to say about this, the more I'm struggling. I love all the stuff with like the witch and the tunnels beneath the camp and stuff like that. Like that's really creepy.
Yeah, discovering that the camp was built on top of the ruins of the original settlement that they vaguely reference was one settlement before it was split.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's clearly going to be something in 1666. Sure, that'll be a thing.
Yeah, and like the occult stuff is cool. Like going like into like the witch's hut or whatever and like going down into the caves and like seeing all the ritual sites and stuff like that. Like that's really creepy and cool and tense. And like the the gore in this one was pretty over the top because Drokey Dude gets his face split open in the caves.
There's just like that's really what I know that there's gonna be people who listen to this going like that didn't bother them at all, and that's super fine. It just I kept watching this going like there's some dude like jerking it to this one. There's something about like the snuff porn of just like a character walks on screen and it's a beautiful young person, and then you just see their head get split with an axe, and then their head gets split with an axe, and then their head gets split with an axe.
What about that like grody ankle break scene?
Yeah, so that one hit. That's visceral because I'm terrified my ankles breaking all the time.
That was such like a catastrophic ankle failure, like I've never seen.
Oh. She freaked out. She touched the Silent Hill heart.
Yeah.
And then just like lost her cool and fell down a stair.
Can we talk about the Silent Hill heart? Because it's my favorite part.
The Silent Hill heart was amazing.
It's so gross. It's so like I love that. I love everything about the gross beating pile of organs at the center. It's a great like metaphor. It's a great like creepy scene.
Dude, I wondered if that was Sarah Fear. Like we keep seeing a figure in like cloaked, and I'm like, well, that might just be a vision. I wonder if that is what is physically on this material plane as Sarah Fear.
Yeah, I wonder because like we have Sarah Fear's bones that are elsewhere. Maybe this is like the rest.
Yeah, this is like her evil entity or something.
Yeah, this is just like her inside out like jelly pile parasite Eve thing, whatever.
It's also, to use a video game term, we find out later, it is literally a monster closet.
Yeah.
It just spawns enemies. Like it could just generate monsters.
It definitely has like a womb sort of quality when it like squirts out like this gel that morphs into as the form of one of the killers. That was pretty great. I actually really liked that part.
That part was much better. I think that was interesting as I found myself more resonating with, there's really two plot lines in this, following the two different sisters. And I think, tell me if you think this is a gross simplification, Kevin,
yeah.
But it is. Older sister Cindy is going down into the mines, hidden tunnels with stoner punk rock girl,
mm-hmm.
Alice maybe is her name. And
yep.
They're investigating what seems to be Sarah Fear's hangout. There's even tables, and they noticed like the candle had recently been lit, which was not answered later.
I figured that candle was Nurse Lane because she's the one. I
wondered if that was her. I guess it just seemed like it had been too far long ago.
Yeah, because
it probably was
because Tommy's attacked by Nurse Lane that day, and then she could have been like down in the witch mines or something.
She got some bug juice and some breakfast and then went down here and started trying to do some rituals.
She's literally the only adult at camp, so she can kind of do whatever she wants.
That's just maybe that's what camps were like in the 70s. I thought it was crazy there wasn't another adult there because you didn't need to take the adults away for the horror. Like, have the adults fucking get killed and that raises the stakes. But instead, like, he was like last day of camp and everyone goes away. There is a bus at one point. There's a bus driver somewhere that we never see.
Yeah, I assume it's one of the counselors driving the bus, though. I don't think they
they're certified to drive the bus. But it is just a adultless camp, which is also weird that it wasn't just a fuckfest nonstop if there's no adult supervision.
Yeah, I mean, it was. It super was a fuckfest.
It pretty much was, yeah.
There's that scene with like the future mayor of Sunnyvale and that one random sexy shady sider.
Oh, wait, is that who that... Oh, is that the asshole jock dude?
Yeah.
Is the future mayor? That's who that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Sheriff Good's brother. That's why they have
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah.
Like, he hooks up with, in my opinion, the coolest girl in the show, the movie, the stoner, the sexy stoner girl who's just like pro weed and being chill. And they hook up, and his first response is, if you tell anyone about this, I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Not cool. Not a cool thing to say to someone post-sex. Even if from different sides of town, by the way. Don't say that to someone. Not surprised he becomes a mayor, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, we're just going like, she's just like, whatever. I'm like, no, stand up for yourself, girl. He doesn't respect you.
I don't think she was in it for the respect. It seems like a very shallow relationship overall.
But the mayor, but you know what's funny is you say that the mayor didn't die. Like there's a bunch of these like setups of like the shitty kids, and which in my mind, what I enjoy out of a good horror movie is the catharsis of someone who has been terrible, who has it coming. Those kills are a lot more like they're still squeamish, they might be scary, or you still don't want them to die. But I felt a lot, it's the best part of 1994, I think, was probably that fake out where the shitty boyfriend of Sam's gets stabbed in the hospital because you don't see it coming. You're also like, yeah, fuck him. And like, oh, now we get out. It's like a fun moment. And this one had the future mayor, asshole dude, running around in a towel, like naked. And then you don't kill him? What are you doing?
There's no fun kills in this one, really.
There's no fun kills. Yeah.
I mean, that the axe kill is the first axe kill is brutal and like almost cartoony, as many people said, like the bread slicer kill was in the first one. But you aren't like yes, like
maybe
finally.
Maybe the only one close to possibly being funny is poor curly-haired Gary, who I knew he was dead from the second I saw him. He gets his head chopped off and then falls through the outhouse. Like that whole. Can we talk about the outhouse and how they built a latrine on top of caves?
Yes.
It is a outhouse big enough for you to put your head into because poor Sadie is just sticking her head down there all the time.
Yep.
There are multiple characters climbing up and down what must have just been shit-covered rocks.
Yes.
But not addressing it. And then at one point, Gary gets decapitated and you just see his entire body come right through. Shoulders and everything. Like birthing a baby. A headless baby. He comes and then he spends like 2 scenes just a headless corpse next to them.
Yep. He didn't really have much of a personality, but like he was still sympathetic. And it's just like, here are all these like mildly sympathetic characters getting killed. Where like usually, I guess in like Friday the 13th or whatever, like, it's about like punishment, right? Like it's about.
It always from the ones I've seen, it always felt like this was punishment for people's hubris, or the different sins that they commit, and so you're like, that's why I think Cabin in the Woods, right, does the trope so well of like the one that always lives is the virgin because they're pure of heart, whatever, right? That kind of like that's the trope.
Right.
And I'm sure there's probably 100 examples of people listening to are like, well, that's not how it works in this one movie. But I think that's the default. That's like the general. Yeah.
They have like another like weird little moment when Cindy and Alice are in the caves. Like Alice reveals that she like trigger warning, self-injury. But
dude, that one did not hit from. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Please.
So Alice reveals that like she's a self-injurer and like that's how she copes with with drugs. Like self-injury is how she copes with the pain of being in Shadyside. That moment is very brief, and it's about I think like 10. It's after Alice totally explodes her ankle. About 10 minutes before she's just axed like immediately, just totally fucking killed.
It's I had this. It's 30 seconds beforehand. It is I think that scene in particular is like a great example of what seems like on paper it should totally work, or maybe like there's a version of it that totally would hit, that the end of the movie, yeah, it's pretty much like past the second act. Alice is opening up to Cindy about, their past.
Mm-hmm.
They're referring to like, there's even more that they really didn't get into. I felt like maybe that was cut in earlier scripts about like their history. And yeah, Alice, the most emotional thing in the movie is Alice talking about her cutting herself.
Yeah.
And that she also like wants to live and fight, and she wants to do this to make things right because she lost the love of her life, that stoner. And it felt so not cool but tone deaf to have 10 seconds later an axe in her head from a killer that you knew was coming back. Like,
yeah,
at that point in the movie, you're kind of just waiting for the kills to happen. You're not, you're always ahead of the characters.
Oh, I had a tally because they tell you that there are going to be 7 deaths, and there are.
They said 7?
Yeah, I think there are more. But like it's always 7. It's always 7 people who get killed every time one of these shady side killers.
Oh, I missed that. That's interesting that it's always
I think I might be wrong because the killer at the beginning of 1994 only gets 2. I've been waiting for a story to like address and explore self-injury, and to see it just sort of like mentioned and then tossed away as just the universe chews you up and spits you out. What are you going to do about it? Like, I don't really see this series having like a She-Ra or Steven Universe kind of like, no, shit matters
Definitely not.
sort of ending. So it's like, so it's like what? It's like the world is totally shit and cruel and there's no escape apart from the icy scythe of death. Like, what, I don't know what to like get out of this apart from haha, man head explode.
Yeah, and again, I think if the kills had been more interesting, it'd be a lot more on board. Like there's what I'm really kind of like, in a weird way, this movie made me want to watch 1666 even more so, because
yes,
what I thought my thesis of what these movies were trying to do, I wasn't really subverted, but just like I didn't see how they worked together. I think we talked about 1994 and how there's an interesting dynamic there, and how they're depicting Dina and Sam, a young LGBTQ couple, and how they're being viewed in the city, right? Like, and how Shadyside and Sunnydale view them, and it wouldn't have been. It's not easy. It's not easy now, but it wasn't easy in the 90s being gay, and like Shadyside seeming to be the downtrodden city, right? There's the haves and the have-nots, and Dina and Sam represent that. And so I'm like, okay, we're gonna find. I think we talked about this. If not, this is just something I've been thinking since then. Like, we're gonna find out in 1666 that, because they've already been showing that Seraphir looks like Dina, or now at the end of this one, Dina becomes Seraphir, that I'm pretty sure we're gonna find out that Seraphir was persecuted because she was gay. And that's going to be the kind of morality of the movie, that Seraphir was unfairly killed, and she punished these other puritanical people, because that's what happened back then.
Yeah, isn't it kind of kooky that there are only white straight people in 1978?
Yeah, it would have been maybe fine to have a little bit more representation there.
Being like gay people existed in 1978 wouldn't have been the most controversial statement, but
yeah, also maybe I'm trying to think, like, maybe the only 2 people of color in this movie were 2 young kids who were brutally killed. I'm trying to think about it. I think there was a young black boy and a young Asian girl who were just killed off screen by Tommy.
Yeah, that's not a lot of great inclusiveness in Fear Street 1978.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry, Kevin. I just like, but the fact that it's the Shadysiders being targeted completely somehow like doesn't connect with what I thought was the first movie's thing of like, these are the people who are afflicted unfairly, and now if the curse is targeting them, I'm guessing we're going to find out like, oh, the Shadyside were the people that doomed Seraphir, and that's why she's picking on them. But that doesn't work with a metaphor for being gay and persecuted. You know what I mean? Like,
And like, this doesn't have to be about being gay, but I thought by having like a sapphic love story in the first one, there might be some sort of thread through to 1970.
But now I don't know. Now I'm abandoning that theory after this one. I thought I had it figured out, and I think maybe that was just a detail.
Yeah. I think I could turn my brain off a little more when I watched this one, because it didn't have to build up a whole like mythos for me. But it's just, it didn't do much with its platform. And before straw people start saying in my head that we're overanalyzing this thing that's supposed to be kind of thoughtless, and it's like, well, maybe I don't enjoy thoughtless media.
Also, welcome to a podcast where we dissect YA books that are 90 pages long.
Exactly.
In a weird way, these movies are giving us more to chew on than most of the books usually do.
Yeah, take that, fictional straw critic that doesn't exist.
I actually, it's funny enough, this makes me want to read the Fear Street books more.
Me too.
Not because of how much I'm loving these movies, but the ones we've read on the podcast, I've enjoyed a lot. I also didn't remember them feeling so nihilistically towards teenage years. Like, I thought I remember there being kids who liked each other in the Fear Street books that we've read. And in this one, even the sisters hate each other. Yeah,
we joke about how RL hates kids, but he does have like a little bit of empathy for kids in his book, which is why I think, he found success as a kid's horror writer, I guess.
Yeah.
I think we joke about RL a lot, but I think he does have a shred of empathy for children. I don't think whoever's working on this has any empathy for teenagers whatsoever.
Yeah, this one felt a little bit like someone can't believe I'm getting away with just both nudity on Netflix, which still feels weird to me. For some reason, Netflix feels like you're not allowed to show a boob.
A lot of dude butt.
And also, a lot of dude butt, and then also just like, yeah, that's an 8-year-old kid. He just got fucking hit in the head with an axe. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. That's fine.
So, on the topic of the adorable, nerdy child who is brutally
that poor kid.
Murdered, that's definitely there for, I think, a really like shittier reason than just nihilism. I think that scene is actually there so people will talk and make podcasts and tweet about it. Like, I seriously think the only reason to include that kill is because it's like, ooh, how delightfully devilish. Like, it's so people go.
Is that the bread cutter kill of this movie?
Yeah.
Is that
they want to have a kill that's so brutal that people take to Twitter and start talking about it, whether they like it or not. I think that is more cynical of a kill than a nihilistic kill. I think they put it in so people would talk about it. And look, it worked. We did. We're talking about it. We're filling up a fucking podcast with it.
It reminds me of like, I've talked to this podcast and I've subjected you to Dead by Daylight, a game that I'm very into and have way too many hours on, and I have a love-hate relationship with it. Every once in a while there'll be a game in Dead by Daylight where I'm playing as a survivor and I've already been caught. I'm on this big meat hook, which is already brutal. Mm-hmm. And they'll be like, the killer will just hang around my corpse and just keep hitting my corpse. Like, I can see that they're not pursuing the objective. They are just enjoying the sound of the knife going into my model. And I'm like, well, they're probably 10. Or they're a fucking weirdo that is like getting off on that in some sort of weird way of, I am taking a beautiful young teenager and just like enjoying the sound of a knife going into them. And for whatever reason, there was a couple moments in this movie where I was like, did that kid I played against in Dead by Daylight, did he write this movie with just like, the near the end with the Berman sisters have probably not the wisest choice to decide to go bury the hand now. We can end it now. We could also do it later. The bus is leaving, but we're going to go do it now.
Yeah.
And are getting pincered attacked by a bunch of cool killers that we wouldn't get to see them do anything cool with. And it's just like 5 minutes of their corpses just getting hit over and over again with axes and knives as they stare at each other. And maybe it was supposed to be a beautiful shot, but it just felt really like yeesh, guys, like I get it. Like I don't know.
Yeah, like the axe like descends over and over and over again, like making hamburger out of Cindy.
Yeah,
and yet apparently like Ziggy's wounds are shallow enough, despite getting stabbed multiple times, that
Gary Oldman stabbed her and she got CPR'd back to life.
Yeah, which what was that? What was the the problem was the problem that she couldn't breathe, or was the problem that there was a fucking hole in her chest?
Nick Good just gave her mouth to mouth so good through the power of love that she was able to come back to life.
Yeah. And then we flash back to 1994, and the Scooby Gang says, "Where's the tree now?" Because the Sarah Fierce hand slips out of one of the girls' hands, and it goes under the tree. In the pit they dug, where they found a IOU1 Sarah Fear sign.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're gonna find out that in 16 there's a rock that says Sarah Fear lives forever.
Yeah,
and so Berman is finding out now. Oh yeah, we found her body by the side of the road. It was in a very shallow grave.
Yeah, yeah, and they're like, "Where's the tree?" And it's at the mall. Oh, the end is like the beginning.
I kind of actually liked it being at the mall. That was so dumb, but I kind of liked it.
It's great
as a payoff.
It's great, but it's awkward in this because like the story's already over, but we're just kind of stuck with the framing device, which is really weird. Like, I can't really think of a work that like just has the framing device like linger on like that, because obviously you can't go right into 1666. You need that connective tissue, but it just feels like weird to me. I don't know.
This is also different than what I thought these movies were going to be. I thought they were going to be a lot more self-contained.
Me too.
The same way like American Horror Story will do, like, you know, either the same cast plays themselves or different characters, or there'll maybe be a nod, but they are like, this time we're doing 50s witches or whatever. Like, as opposed to we are going to have like, this movie was just a flashback told via Gillian Jacobs, as opposed to being in the movie where we in the audience are kind of, I almost would have think I liked it more if I hadn't been told about Camp Nightwing, the movie beforehand. You know what I mean? Can I just a shout out to like the most interesting killer of the Fear Streets has been teased now in 2 of these, and I can't get my Bat Boy. We have this tiny little boy with a wooden mask and a bat, or maybe he's a tiny man, maybe he's a short king, and even in this one, they finally summon him at the very end when they're all getting flanked around. He does this cool little bat flick, like, I'm going to do that to your head. And I just want to see him in action, Kevin. And we don't get it. Is he from 1666? Probably not, because bats weren't invented.
He's too fun for this series, unfortunately. He's too much fun, and we're never going to see him. Because he's not coming back in 1666.
No, yeah, they hadn't invented Louisville Sluggers by then.
But we are going to get, I guess the whole like 78 and 94 casts are getting like remixed into this 1666 Vision quest thing.
And they showed a glimpse of like Josh. I think Kate was in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I doubt it's going to be. I was kind of thrown by the teaser of this last one. Honestly, made it even a little more interesting, where it seemed like Dina time traveled back into the body of Sarah Fear, which I thought was going to be different than just her playing Sarah Fear, the actor. I'd be curious how they handle that. Like, are these all their ancestors? Right? Like this is Kate's great grandmother, or are they all like slingered into their bodies,
or is this just like is this a dream sequence,
or is this just a dream sequence? I'd be very curious how they do it.
Yeah. I'd say we'll stick around for the third one just out of curiosity.
Yeah, we gotta see this through, man.
Yeah,
I know we're rough on these, but I'm enjoying talking about them through with you.
Me too. Like, I feel bad because like I thought I had like a stronger case for this, and then I started thinking about this movie.
I think, didn't that happen just for 94? Or maybe 94, I came in going like, what a fun, fresh way to do another Scream. And then by the time we were done talking, I'm like, fuck this piece of shit.
Yeah, honestly, I wish these movies were better because at least in 94, there were a few moments where I was like, I could get into this. It's just, I'm frustrated by this series because I don't know what it's trying to say, and it has one more chance to say it.
Yeah, I thought I was getting a bearing on what its thesis was, even if it's something as simple as life sucks and then you die. Maybe that's what it is now, but it has been shifting a little bit with where its direction was on this one. I'd love to see what happens in 1666. Here's, why I'm also glad I'm excited to see 1666, because they can't do any fucking pop music drops. They can't just Guardians of the Galaxy it and have Cherry Bomb play 5 goddamn times in the movie.
All right, controversial statement. Fuck Cherry Bomb. It's terrible.
I had never really heard it until the last couple of years when Guardians of the Galaxy 2 made it more popular. I did write down that I found it an interesting choice for that first horror attack of Tommy using my man Cat Stevens, use of Islam.
Yep.
The first cut is the deepest.
Yep.
I love me some Cat Stevens. You play me Cat Stevens, play me Cats in the Cradle. I'm gonna goddamn cry.
The Wind, dude? The fucking Wind?
Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, that Cat Stevens song, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, tears, Kevin.
Yeah.
I will just pour. So it was interesting to see it used here for a horror moment that didn't completely hit for me.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Use an old minstrel song in 1666?
I feel like they're between a rock and a hard place because, like, if they do use like pop music drops into 1666, it'll be too much fun. It'll be too fun for this very nihilistic horror series. And we might not take it super seriously, and we might have a little bit of enjoyment when we watch a horror movie, which would make it not horror.
I'm kind of now hoping that there is a church choir cover of David Bowie's Space Oddity or something. It's like, we're like, oh, what a weird choice. It's kind of a beautiful song. As a goat is curb stomping them to death or whatever happens in this movie.
Okay, so if Dina is having this as a vision where she's seeing faces that she recognizes, and it's just sort of like the witch trying to like fill in for like Dina, being like, this person was your best friend, so you're seeing my best friend as her. Like, I hope there's just like a dude with a lute who starts playing Bark at the Moon or something.
Kevin, that sounds sick. I would watch the fuck out of that movie. That sounds actually good. You got me more excited, dude. I'm down to watch 1666 with you, and probably Paul because he'll be back in podcast land by then.
Oh yeah. Oh shit, we forgot to make up some sort of contrivance, like Paul fell into like the soul tornado or whatever.
Here's what I think we already said that Paul is traveling.
Yeah.
Let's do it like the old Fraggle from Fraggle Rock.
Yep.
Where his uncle is just traveling around to see the sights. Paul and his love Jen are traveling the West Coast, taking pictures with big explorer helmets on, and they're sampling local cuisine.
Yep.
And they're going to return with some West Coast artifacts, probably a Frisbee and a little plastic Oscar statue that everyone buys in Hollywood Boulevard.
And we're all gonna ooh and ah and eat those radish things that those doozers make.
Oh my god! When they just ate the buildings they made, those like crystal bricks. Oh my god, it looks so good.
Dude, I'm gonna go have some crystal bricks right now, I think.
I'm going to go eat some foundation, y'all. Kevin, I thank you for talking about this second part of this very weird movie trilogy with me.
Chad, thank you so much for coming on my podcast, Goosebuds, and talking to me.
It was an honor, Kevin.
It was a privilege.
Hey, if you liked the movie or didn't like the movie or just want to talk about it, we'd love to hear from you. It's also okay to have different opinions.
Yes, please.
You can contact us at goosebuds@gmail.com, or you can call us. You can contact us on Twitter at Goosebuds Pod.
If you throw like $1 at us, you can come and hang out in our Goosebuds Discord, which I lurk in until I find the confidence to post something.
We're intimidated by our very cool Discord people.
I just want people to like have fun, and I don't want to be like the mom with like the plate of hors d'oeuvres like walking in.
Because you're the game master, Kevin. You want everyone to have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is a good time in our Discord. And also, if you want to support our show, I believe the new merch is ready at goosebuds.store.
Yeah! Goosebuds.store, or if that link isn't... Sometimes the link says... I've noticed, even for me, the link will be like, this is a suspicious link that's going to steal all your information. That's Google Chrome. Don't worry about it. Power through. Click through to it. Goosebuds.store will take you to our Etsy store. Where we have some amazing new merch. Limited edition red Goosebuds hat and some new wrestler shirts designed by the great Kayla Klein. As well as some new stickers. I'd say check it out.
Yeah, it's looking good. We're gonna take some more modeling shots as well.
Yes.
We got that cool sticker by our friend Brock.
Oh yeah, the Goosebuds 64 cover is so good. I have that sticker on just enough things in my own house that it doesn't feel egotistical to have my own podcast advertised everywhere.
It's fine. It's got your friends on it. Why wouldn't you like that?
Yeah, that's what it is. I love Kevin and Paul and seeing their cute Earthbound type characters.
Yeah. Check out Goosebuds.store or go to Etsy and search for Goosebuds. You'll probably find us.
And patreon.com/Goosebuds if we didn't say. Patreon.com/Goosebuds.
Yeah, that's all our things. We did it.
That's all our things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin, shall we'll wrap it up? I think we'll probably be covering 1666 next, unless we feel like we need a little book cleanser in between. But I'll see you next time.
Yeah, I'll see all you guys next time on Goosebuds. Bye.
Goodbye. This episode of Goosebuds is brought to you by our wonderful Patreon supporters, and this is the Book of Names.
We begin with Stefan Jive Turkey Kuwabara,
Hollis Hornbeak,
Cameron Murphy Audio,
Michael McDowell,
David Cron,
Josh Robertson,
Mickey C,
Nathan Dolezal,
Clayton C,
Mike Lanteri,
Buddy Morrill,
Ailcade,
Mel Dibson,
Jim Greaves,
Zang Keith,
Afsheen,
Danky McStanky,
Aaron T. Strunk,
Dango Twiss,
Brian Wells.
Hey Zenticles, I'm saying your name in the credits. That's pretty neat.
It is.
It is neat. Stealth Bates,
Joseph Miranda,
Patrick Reynolds,
Scott Colopy,
Robert Moon,
Jason Crooker,
John Keaty,
Low Belly Hate Me,
Clay Castle,
Miguel Pardo,
Christina Doling,
Third Sergio,
Calf,
Matthew Secret Societies,
Sniggy,
Reinfected,
Maddie,
Ishak Arifin,
Gregory D. Warren,
Alan Saylor,
Sam Hash,
Cody Redfield,
Rich Hilborn,
Bradford Coulter,
Aiden Alexander Dice,
Dapio,
Jar Jar Slinks,
Joshua Jacobwitz,
Justin Wagman,
Chosen One,
Cardboard Walk,
Leviathan,
Up and Champ,
Jonas Engman,
Alicia Grafe,
Trent Davis,
Jonas Blatterman.
Maloyster,
Carl,
Hey, Paul, pause for a second. I gotta get something off my chest. I think I love broccoli.
I like that self-monologue you just had there, Paul. The John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation,
Elusive Koala,
Yanni Markovina,
Joe,
Brooke X,
Corey Shelley,
Jesus Christ,
Christian Van Skeever,
Drew Applegate.
J-Bug,
Hello, J-Bug.
J-Bug,
J-Bug's very cute, Jeremy Lowe,
Brian Hopgood,
Paul Grasso,
Trans Rights,
Slum Lord Onion,
Taylor Deers,
Joe, I'm not tired, I always look like this, Scott,
I feel that, Joe. Jordan Lockwood,
Zach Connor,
Patreon _donator, yo,
Joe Spooky Digital Ghost, Tierney,
Trendy Moron,
Tom Whittam,
Toothless Barry the Whistler Bostowitz,
Connor Church,
Vincent Modica.
Kevin Hamilton.
Luke Canoodles.
What? This is next level here.
Andrew would like to try that recipe for Luke Canoodles Jadzik.
I love it.
Someone is paying attention, Andrew. Lord Cornwallis.
Hugh Boland.
Zambam Bino.
Elizabeth Steenweg.
Cardamom Birkambino.
Murph EP.
Tevin Ticklebean is your new best friend.
Welcome, Tevin Ticklebean, into my heart.
I love that. Oh, Tevin and J-Bug. 2 new loves.
Goon Cahoots.
Sness Chalmers.
Sean Minogue.
John the Howling Eye Duda.
Nathan Remick.
Wormtown Glenn.
Divaldi.
Wiggle It.
Luke LaFountain.
John Pigeon Hat Barber.
Reed Stubendieck.
Paul, watch out. Snake is behind you.
Watch out, Paul. Chip Handsome.
Matt McClellan.
Stinklich.
Joey Evans.
Carewise Gamgee.
Alex Moon, the robotic dog.
Dylan McCann.
Swaggy YOLO Squire.
Cameron Hansen.
Sarah Kemp.
Tanya Turtle.
Chili Dish Gambino.
Jack Frazee.
Brett.
Generally depressing.
Etonomore.
Yeah.
Ben Bohan.
Adam Ya Goofed.
Juan Jalapena.
Muscles Bear.
Dan.
Chris Pittman is a bone wizard.
Baz Gerritsen.
Hey, Eric. It's gonna be all right. You're doing a great job.
Keith Halcrow.
Dakota Campion.
Chris Haunted Pajama Boner Nelson. Too real.
Timothy Misadolakis.
Clay McCarty.
When dragons rule.
Oh my god, I love the song.
Thank you.
Every time there's a new song for When Dragons Roll. Thank you, Dragons. Thank you.
Imagine dragons.
Imagine that.
Matthew Stevens.
Noah August.
Parker Lee.
Jonas Enevoldsen.
Calamity Carl.
Germ Juice.
Hamboat.
You other 2 guys can read this next name. I have to go jerk one out real quick.
Nick Johnson.
Kevin Boucher.
Yeah.
Raymond Hernandez.
Flemily.
The Crowfens.
Matthew Sutton.
Patrick Murphy.
Stephen Day.
Jeffrey Owen Cawhey.
Kelsey Kinnaman.
Ryan Carroll.
Jeremy Bowser.
Tori Catherine.
Lee Wood.
Russell Castberg.
Javier Jimenez.
Brendan Erfin.
Liam Neeson's Doe.
Chris Putricus.
Scotty Pippen.
Megan McCormick Mason.
Streak.
Meet Virginia.
Ninja Breadman.
Hood Lemon.
Cody Tromler.
Adam Muth.
Dungeon Kappa.
Got little old moi pretty freaked.
Ryan Knight.
MC Hamster.
Zach Ware.
Tamid Munir.
Jimmy Soul.
Alan G. Jussum.
Peanutberg level 69.
You're gonna hit max level sometime, Peanutberg. I believe in you. Tobias Clark.
Michael Kupka.
Julian Lamendia.
Brendan Neal.
Andre Villanueva.
Ida.
Moon Juice. You gotta meet Germ Juice.
Kevin Cole.
Hey!
I still think it's possible that might be me. I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's a great mystery.
I think it is.
I hope we never solve it. I don't want to ever solve it.
I'm pretty sure that's me.
Thank you, Kevin.
Welcome.
Thank you, Kevin, for allowing us to, I guess, all give Patreon like an extra 30 cents a month.
Yeah.
Kelly the Barbarian.
David Emerson.
FW.
Cody Selman.
Aaron Lord.
B.
David Sandoval.
Daniel Keith Herren.
Latanzi.
Courtney Green.
Este Mena, Lord of Paul's Pants.
The Davy Boy.
Kenny M.
Robert Allen Cook III.
Several upset horses.
Oh, God. I thank you for supporting us.
Is this like a sibling to Sudaxis? Sudaxis?
Sudaxis.
Better.
Sudaxis?
The better Pseudicus, I think.
Pseudicus.
Oh, that?
One of them is supporting this show. The other one isn't. Paul. Dr. Diarrhea.
Mike Spaghetti Jones.
Alec Foisey.
Ashley Northup.
Kieran McNamara.
Diet Soda.
Quigley Jones.
Skelefella.
Redemption.
Liss with an asterisk.
What could it mean?
What could it mean? We don't know.
Watch out, Esther Shanks.
Jackie Ladou's here.
Coleman Laguza.
Sad Star.
Chris.
Continue.
Levi Kidder.
69, Pauly Shore, 311.
David Gray.
Bryce Dieri.
Matthew Brettado.
I am Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole.
It's coming back, baby.
Yakub.
Carpson.
Wagmar Wigmer.
Nice
job.
Dakota Kemp.
Welcome, Tarf.
Rob T. Period.
Rian DeBrugen.
Luke Humanzi Allen.
Jake.
Some of Chad's bird friends.
Yay! Thank you, Samson.
Nicholas Maloney.
The secret provider.
And Zach Cohen.
And we would like to welcome these new names to the Book of Names. You belong here forever. Midwest Indigo 13.
Welcome, Kiwi O'Flurve.
Welcome, Bjarndir.
Serial Killer X. Welcome.
Welcome, Joey Reinish of LOLJK.
Welcome, Eric Horwitz.
Hail, Kyle Robinson.
Well met, Tiffany Leah.
Now announcing Jake Harker.
A wild Nelson Graham has appeared.
Thank you all so very, very much. We love you.
And we hope you enjoyed our quiet talking of your names because my wife is working. My wife.
My wife. Your wife.
Today we're all wife guys. Okay, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.